last year, I went over some of the strangest wikis ever created, some of the most dedicated and obsessive creations ever put into an informational format. However, you only have so much time in your day to find and go through some of these, and I really only went over like 4. And I'll have you know, that was only scratching the surface. There are tons of other wikis out there in the wilderness, and they only get stranger from here on out. And I decided it's time to go back into the coal mine and dig for more. Oh, by the way, yes, I'm aware people were very mad about the way I pronounced the word last time. It's apparently wiki, not wiki. My bad, I'll try my best not to screw it up this time. For those who don't know, a wiki— A wiki is usually a site dedicated to the archival of information. You know, you've probably read Wikipedia. Well, there are other sites out there that are far more specific and niche, only really made for a certain group of people, whether it be the fanbase of a game series like Dark Souls or Kirby. These wikis are made to archive this very niche and specific information, and that information on some of these sites is so niche and specific, to the average outsider, it's borderline psychotic. Well, it's not actually psychotic, it's autistic. Yeah, I didn't make this as clear in the last video, but the vast majority of these wikis are made by people that are somewhere on the spectrum. Trust me, I would know. I had my own phase of using one of these kinds of wikis when I was a kid. So yes, I am speaking from experience here. I know what the appeal is, but I was like 12, 13. I'm 25 now, and I can look back now and realize this entire wiki thing is very strange. I'm not hating on it. I'm not saying these shouldn't exist. In fact, I'm happy they exist because I can look at them with awe. These people have the full right to make these as much as they want if they enjoy it. But I have the right to find it weird. And so now, it's time we dive right back into these strange wikis. Cut that ad block on and get locked and loaded. The weirdest wikis on the web.
I'm not Sonic! I'm my original character, Blonic!
I'd like to think we all know what an OC is. When someone creates an original character designed by themselves, I think that's pretty obvious to the vast majority of you. Some OCs are completely original concepts and creations by people who just want a character to reflect their personality. But a lot of OCs are based on already existing franchises, or at least influenced by them. The term original character do not steal has been a little joke on the internet for quite a while.
I'm not Sonic! I'm my original character, Blonic! And I'm not Tails. I'm my original character, Blails.
You can see this stuff for like Sonic the Hedgehog, My Little Pony, pretty much any fandom. Is it fun? Yes. Is it cringe? Sometimes. But it's been a part of fan culture for decades. Creating fan characters has always been a part of fan culture, yada yada. Where am I going with this? Well, what if I told you there was a whole wiki dedicated to doing this, with the Smurfs? Welcome to the Smurf Fanon Wiki. This is not a joke or a shitpost wiki, this is 100% played straight Smurf fanfiction. In-depth, exceedingly amounts of effort, Smurf fanfiction. Ooh, finally! My prayers have been answered! Right here on the front page, you can catch a glimpse of all the donut steals on display, and all the Smurf universes that have been created thus far. And oh boy, there's a lot of new characters, a lot of Smurf OCs to look at. You have characters like Empath Smurf, Smurf Storm, Glovey Smurf, Sorcerer Smurf, and Black Smurf. Oh. I thought this was a weird character to create, but then I later found out Black Smurfs were an actual thing in the original Smurf comics, so this isn't a weird fanon thing, it's a weird canon thing. You win this round, Smurf Fanon Wiki. So this wiki is the average Fanon Wiki experience, and by that I mean, it is unbelievably in-depth and has explanations and details about things that don't exist. Like, creating ginormous fanfiction stories, I get. Some people like to flex their writing skills. But this wiki isn't just pages of fanfiction. No, it goes into detail about these same stories getting cartoons and movies, the animation styles, when they were released, how they were received, all that. And remember, these never existed, so it's all just hypotheticals. Some of them even have in-depth explanations of the opening sequences, going into excruciating detail about the intros that don't exist. That's how deep some of these are willing to go. As for the stories themselves, well, they can go from lighthearted and goofy, like a story about a Michael Jackson-esque Smurf going through his career, or they can be massive, dark, and edgy stories involving Smurfs. There are a lot of heavy subjects covered in some of these stories, like an entire page dedicated to death. Not just death in the Smurf universe, a good chunk of the article is explaining death as a concept itself. Yeah, a lot of talk of death and Smurfside, but try to take this seriously with these dark concepts reminds me of Sonic Adventure 2. The game tries to have a somewhat serious story and wants you to feel something. But I just can't when the main characters are short furry animals with attitude. Oh, by the way, just a heads up, I love Sonic Adventure 2's story. I think it's great. It's so cheesy and campy, I can't help but love it. But I can't take it seriously.
So, how did you know it wasn't the real one?
Tails! Because you just told me, Fox Boy.
It's the same thing here. I can't take any of this seriously because it's Smurfs! I can't look at these goofy things and just expect to feel something for them. I can't say the writers didn't try, though. They do. But my God, doing research for this and attempting to read them, Jesus Christ, it never ends. Some of these go on for pages and pages and pages. Like, there's actual effort on display here. Some people with actual talent for character development and world building are on display here. But like, at the end of the day, it's the Smurfs. It seems so weird to have all this effort, all this talent, put towards the Smurfs of all things. And a lot of fandoms have a ton of fan projects with a ton of love and care put into them to show the passion for the series. This is nothing new. But I didn't know the Smurfs had this much of a fan community to create all this. I could go on more in depth about the stories themselves, but what's the point of that? Yeah, it may seem a little lazy, but do I really need to tell you the ins and outs of these? I think them being solely about the Smurfs should tell you enough. And can you believe what I'm showing you is the toned-down version of this site? It used to be one of those wikis that everyone was baffled by its existence, and screenshots of out-of-context pages can still be found, but they've since been removed because apparently this wiki has standards. And I'll say it one last time. There are wikis like this all over the place. Tons of Fanon wikis made just to make new stuff for already existing franchises, and they have way more effort put into them than needed. I hope whoever works on this stuff goes on to make their own work instead of being tied to the Smurfs. They could probably go far. But me, personally, I'm gonna go make my own Smurfs. I'm gonna make them cruder and edgier, and I'll call them the Clurfs.
How embarrassing!
Security system takes control of Squidward's house and begins attacking the city.
Some of you may know of a certain cartoon YouTuber named Mr. Enter. Mr. Enter, mostly known for his Turning Red video. In the 2010s, Mr. Enter had a much bigger presence. If you were in the cartoon scene around the time, you at least heard his name. He was probably most well known for his Spongebob videos, like listing the top 10 worst Squidward torture episodes and Patrick being an idiot. Now these videos today, they're... for the time when I was just a teen, they were fine. But today, a lot of this is just nitpicking.
A driver with boat smarts gets maimed, tortured, and beaten for doing the right thing, while a driver who doesn't goes through the whole episode unscathed.
SpongeBob, do you have any mascara I could borrow?
How does wearing makeup make you an idiot?
I wouldn't say they're bad videos, just a little bitchy. Mr. Enter himself, I think the guy is just fine. He has a lot of very, very bad takes though, which sort of added to the reputation he got him. But I don't think having awful cartoon takes is worthy of wishing doom on him. But I will say, and this might be a hot take from myself, I unironically believe Mr. Enter heavily damaged cartoon discussion online. Mr. Enter's awful takes aren't what damaged it. Not by themselves, but instead the mindset Enter created. The people who watched him and looked up to him would go and parrot the same talking points in his videos. The one thing that Mr. Enter would constantly bring up is if something was mean-spirited. If a character got treated like dirt or just constantly used them as a punching bag for a joke, that was bad writing and an animated atrocity. That's what that entire Squidward torture video was about. It's not just him having these opinions, it's other people who would judge these shows based on the same mindset.
and this one is just one of the meanest, cruelest, and just plain unfair of them all. All Squidward wanted to do was enjoy one day to himself, but that can never happen when he lives next door to SpongeBob and Patrick, can it?
You have to treat cartoon characters like real people and have empathy for them, or you're not watching cartoons the right way. This mindset would lead to the creation of the Scumbob Wiki. The Scumbob Wiki is a wiki dedicated to bad episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants. The pages describe all the bad episodes of the show and why they're bad, but as one would know, what is considered bad is extremely subjective. So what episodes do they consider bad? Maybe the pace of the episodes or the entertainment factor, but their main factor to if an episode is bad or not is dependent on, well, by that entire tangent about Mr. Enter, you can take a wild guess. This entire wiki bases almost all of its reasoning for hating episodes, mostly if an episode is mean-spirited or not. If an episode has a character even slightly suffer or something bad happen to them, it's put on the wiki. If a character is just a tiny bit mean, it's put on the wiki. And yes, these are indeed Mr. Enter fans. You want to know how I know? Because they cite him in his videos on multiple pages on why the episodes are bad, if there is any doubt. How this wiki is structured is, it has a few episodes from the first 3 seasons of the show, and then basically every single episode from season 4 and beyond, because that's when it's usually agreed on, when the show's quality started to drop. Every page is filled with very annoyed and disgruntled text describing the events of the episodes. The thing about this wiki is, well, I'm sorry, this is hilarious. This entire wiki is just funny. It's the fact they're all taking these episodes of SpongeBob, a children's cartoon, so seriously. I'm sorry, but that's hilarious. I know it's kind of scummy because most of these were probably written by teenagers who had probably nothing else going on in their lives, so they were fully dedicated to this. But come on, how could I not? They have little quips that play off the titles of the episodes. Grandma's Kisses, Why It Will Never Give You Kisses, or All That Glitters, Why Doesn't This Episode Glitter? Or my personal favorite, Club SpongeBob, Why Some People Do Not Now, Nor Will They Ever Want to Be Members of This Stupid Club. Oh my god, that is adorable. That is amazing. Every episode on the wiki is formatted like this. It's always over-the-top anger, usually over characters being mean or tortured or minor things nobody really cares about. Look at this page of the ending of Grandma's Kisses. Little info. Entire episode of Grandma's Kisses has the townspeople in Squidward mock SpongeBob for still getting kisses for Grandma at his age, and the end of the episode has him accepting it was alright to still get kisses for Grandma, despite how old he was. But the townspeople still make fun of him for it, not like he cares. Well, you wanna know what this page says about the ending?
Why this ending would ironically lead to SpongeBob death in the future by Squidward and the Bikini Motomites is not canon! Squidward and the Bikini Motomites are creeps who peeked through SpongeBob's grandmother's house and murdered him of embarrassment!
If you want to play a drinking game, take a shot every time on this wiki you see the words mean-spirited or torture. You'll be dead from alcohol poisoning in a matter of minutes. It's like if you made an AI watch a few SpongeBob animated atrocity videos from Mr. Enter and then write a wiki. This would be the end result. Sometimes, they completely miss the point of the episode. Like, they have a page here about the Great Snail Race. Oh, come on, that's a good episode! Actually, it's a bad episode because, SpongeBob is mean to Gary and tortures him, therefore it sucks. The point of the episode was he was pushing Gary too hard and got caused him to break down and lose. You know what being mean creates? Conflict. Conflict is what pushes a lot of stories, and without it, it's significantly more difficult to make a compelling story. Also, in a comedic show like SpongeBob, which has some slapstick in it, in order for some jokes to work, someone has to suffer. It's funny at points because they're not real people. They were created in Steven Hillenburg's head and are nothing more than walking catalysts for jokes and comedic outcomes. I mean, what are these people expecting from a slapstick comedy cartoon for kids?
Lemonade? Please, I made it just for you. You are my best friend.
And that's not to say there aren't some bad episodes of the show. There are, and sometimes it does go too far. But it just gets obnoxious if you apply it to every single episode. If you get tired of all the negativity and calling everything under the sun mean-spirited here, there is always the anti-Scumbob Wiki, where it's the hero mode version. Nothing but praise all around, but no doubt it's probably written by a lot of the same people. So you still get all the quips and such, but it's not as funny. This, however, is a treat. I just want to reiterate, this wiki is not entirely Mr. Enter's fault. Yeah, he had some bad takes here and there, but I don't think he expected so many people to take his word as gospel. But if a YouTuber says it, a bunch of people will regurgitate the exact same opinion over and over and over, and that's what leads to this.
Yeah! Fuck this episode!
But you know what, I don't care. This really is funny at the end of the day. Mr. Enter nowadays, I feel, has sort of improved his reputation, but this is no doubt the best content he has ever produced, even if not intentionally. I just really like seeing people get this riled up over children's cartoons.
Please stop making episodes just to cause Squidward or any other character misery. It's not fucking funny. Stop it now. God damn it! Oh well, I'm done.
Now, here comes the major issue with this video. Again, there are hundreds of thousands of wikis to visit, and I only have so little time to cover them and have anything of value to say about them. I'm not ready to tap into that multi-hour long video essay market, not yet, but I still want to have a good variety on display here, so I decided we're going to have ourselves a little lightning round of some other wikis I found and were recommended that I should at least mention. Who here likes old YouTube boops?
What the fuck?
Well, if you do, you probably recognize this. This is Ouija. Ouija was basically the mascot for YouTube Poops. He's as synonymous with YouTube Poops as Mario is to Nintendo. Ouija will forever be associated with this old era of YouTube, but his legacy still lingers on, in the form of a wiki. This is the Ouijapedia, and it's a wiki dedicated to logging everything regarding Ouija, including all his variants and the extensive lore behind them. He has a slew of variants and clones of different shapes and sizes. Like, here's one of Squidward, or a giant ascended form, or a... Was there a Ouija trade? Yeah, this entire wiki is basically one large joke, but I can't deny some of this stuff is kind of funny to look at. I mean, you can look at it and tell none of this is being taken seriously at all. Sometimes a joke wiki is worth a look at if you're bored. Yeah, that's about all I got for this one. Moving on. Keep moving forward. Ideas are bulletproof. There is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Another wiki I was constantly recommended was the Ideas Wiki. This is literally just another version of Pooh's Adventure. Yeah, I thought this was going to be like some sort of invention wiki, and they'd have all sorts of little inventions and contraptions and stuff. No, it's actually just people taking already made and popular games and movies and smashing them together. If anyone had any idea for a game or movie like this, they make a page on it. Anything goes, but they're all just already existing things anyway. We are creatively bankrupt as a species. But it's actually a popular wiki because there's over 120,000 pages on it. Jesus! But it's just not creative at all. Couldn't we get something more original? See that? See Peach right there? That sums the whole thing up. That's me. Peach is literally me right now. I was also told about the Gambian Holiday Wiki. I have no idea what this is. I am actually at a loss of words on what to say about this wiki. It is so nonsensical, I can only show you and let you decide what this could be. It just seems to be a bunch of nonsensical articles and shitposts with nothing really holding them together. Why this is a thing, I have no clue, but I feel like I have to be a part of a certain group to get it. What that group could be, not a clue. Maybe it's an ARG of some kind, but I don't know. Try checking it out for yourself. Maybe you can make more sense of it than I can. Another one I can't seem to wrap my head around is the Earth 2 Wiki. I was expecting some like alien stuff and fictional plants and animals and all that crap, but no. What this wiki is basically cataloging already existing stuff and how it made its way over to a second Earth that's nearly identical in every way. And I mean, legit, a good majority of this wiki is copy-pasted pages from other wikis and putting them here. It's describing stuff that's already been described, but they're on Earth 2 now, which I'm pretty sure doesn't exist. What is the point of this? Why would anyone need this ever? Who would even want to make something like this? And then, finally, there's the Hypothetical Hurricanes Wiki. Now, when I first heard about this wiki, I thought it was going to be exactly what it sounded like. A wiki dedicated to hurricanes that only hypothetically exist. And yes, unsurprisingly, they go into excruciating detail, detailing all the places it hit, its intensity, the effect it had on the world, all fan fiction for events that didn't happen. I was about to write this one off and not even mention it, until I noticed this fake severe Simpson scale, where it creates brand new categories for hurricanes, going all the way up to category 10, and then Hypercane and Megacane. Oh, Oh god, oh my, that sounds badass. I wonder if there exists one of those on this. Armageddon Storm Calling. Armageddon Storm Calling was by far the most powerful, damaging, and deadly tropical cyclone ever recorded, as well as one of the major causes of both the 2027 mass extinction event and the formation of the Holy Empire of Earth called Gamania. Oh god, it killed 6 billion people and caused $80 trillion in damage? Holy crap, this is too scary for me, I'm out of here! Yeah, it's a handful of wikis I thought at least deserved a mention. There are legit way more I'm probably missing, but like I said, there's only so much time I can give these things. I crawl through these war zones of wikis with tons of drama involved in them. There was a wiki called the Big Net Comments Wiki, which was nothing but a wiki dedicated to drama and the Big Net community. I didn't even know the Big Net community was big enough to have drama! Same with this OS Mockup Wiki. There was apparently a ton of drama that went on with fake operating systems. I guess if you just put two hyper-dedicated autists in the same room together, some shit's gonna go down. Just fit me in the room with another Donkey Kong fan. We'll see what happens. It may be a bit anticlimactic to make this the final subject for today, but I've decided to revisit a wiki for my last vid. But trust me, it's worth it. Some of these wikis also have multiple variations of the same subject. They're just called something else. Like, there's a wiki called the Audiovisual Wiki, which is basically like the Creepy Logos Wiki, but more fact than fiction. Speaking of audio, I've attempted tinkering with some things to make it sound a bit better. Have you all noticed any differences? Do you like it? I got some help from some friends and now I'm apparently contractually obligated to give them a shout out. Go check them out in the description. They're all very talented with audio related stuff. Anyway, one site that I also covered last time that has multiple variations was Supernanny. The TV show Supernanny. That one. I'm not going to repeat myself much here, but yes, it was a show about a nanny coming to deal with unruly children and disciplining them. It's just more drama reality TV schlock, haven't seen much of it. There's a wiki for the show itself, and then there's the Fanon Wiki. Yes, it's another Fanon Wiki, but let me tell you, Fanon Wikis are a force to be reckoned with. I used to use a wiki called Fantendo when I was a kid, a wiki dedicated to fake Nintendo stuff. Yes, an autist used one of these when they were younger, big shocker. This is purely uneventful and not really all that interesting, but the Supernanny Fanon Wiki is a different story. What I went over last time was the absurd size of the wiki itself, the strange stories based on real events that didn't happen, and the ridiculous rules and regulations with over 29 of them that just seem to suck all the fun out of creating fake Supernanny stories. Well, after I made that video, it came to my attention by multiple people I was only scratching the surface. All those rules and regulations mean diddly dick. I had just looked at some stories that seemed somewhat realistic. Little did I know what lay in the archives of this site. So just doing a tiny bit of browsing, everything seems relatively calm. About what I saw last time, but as I'm browsing through some of the stuff on here, something seems off. I was looking through the techniques page, which I think is supposed to be techniques to teach the kids on the show how to behave, and the vast majority of them seem to be a variation of things for the kids to sit on. But wait, what the hell is Creepy Zoo? How can a child sit on this? So I click on it and... The Creepy Zoo is an abusive discipline technique made by... You want me to pronounce that? It consists of a group of creepy-looking, rarely robotic animals. A selfish parent nanny manny would force her kids to view the animal. So, this took a turn. Look at all these edgy animal names. Bloodthirsty the orca, Murdery the lamb, Death the gorilla. What is this? A zoo the Supernanny takes the kids to scare them straight? How would she even fund this? And then I scroll even further down. What in God's name is going on here? And so, clicking on this one page, I have fallen down a rabbit hole which I cannot escape from. All these are the names of people. Fictional people, but people. Why are these names like this? Well, when you read into the fictional episodes, you find out these people legally changed their names to reflect their beliefs. Names like YouTube is a fraud, F*** your mother or you will burn in hell, and Florida can die in a fire. All the people who live in Florida and hate it, your hatred is not valid. Imagine hating Florida so much, you have your name legally changed to show your disgust for it. Clicking on these names, you get sent to some of these fictional episodes that are, Well, how do I put this? Supernanny was, again, a reality TV show. It was grounded in reality. It was based on actual real families getting a real nanny to come deal with their real unruly children. But now, on this wiki, all the families, the kids, and the nannies are now Saturday morning cartoon characters. The parents in these stories and their methods of disciplining the kids are, well, I wouldn't call them abuse, it's more so medieval methods of torture. Listen to this. Spanking stew. Now, what does that sound like? What could this be? Something nasty to feed the kids? No, of course not. It's actually a pit that the kids are thrown into with liquor, smoker's cough, baby mice wine, panda blood, penguin blood, chinchilla blood, hedgehog blood, hamster blood, and Diet Coke. Oh God, no! Not the Diet Coke! Some of these techniques are like spank them with a belt, or put them in the nutty cage, or Yoko Ono's torture chamber. When a child is misbehaving, Karen takes them straight into a white room with nothing in it. She locks the door and then proceeds to blast songs from Yoko Ono, preferably ones where Ono is screaming. Okay, that's pretty good. I give whoever made this page a big thumbs up. Look at this one. Abuser chute. What in the world could this be? Throwing the kids down a chute as a form of discipline? No. You would never guess in a million years what this leads to. Elizabeth has to see if anyone shows abusiveness. The moment she does see abusive behavior, she instantly lures or drags them to the attic and then throws them down the chute to the basement turned torture chamber. It is there that they meet rogue bots that discipline the abusers in the most brutal way. Rogue bots? There's robots now? Yeah, there's a thing called the Punishtron 4000, made to punish the abusive parents of the kids. Hey, remember that episode of Supernanny where she gets fed up with the situation at hand and just summons her fucking T-800? There is so much ridiculous stuff you can find here. I am legit kicking myself for completely missing all of this last year. This is actually entertaining to go through. I'm not even joking. There is something over the top on almost every page, like the anti-abuse boat ride. A boat ride, having animatronics of previous abusers dying in brutal ways to scare the parents straight. How did we get to this? I found this list of top 100 best and worst video games, and this is a long-ass page. It has multiple lists for multiple people, and for some reason, the lists are like half real games and half games that don't even exist. What in God's name is Ji-Woong's Exam Challenge? A fake video game for what I presume is for a fake episode of Supernanny. Look at all the effort put in. It is similar to Supernanny: The Theory of Nicole. Oh, what the hell is that? A Supernanny video game published by Nintendo. It's an RPG platformer adventure game? That sounds like my type of game. It also features characters like the 10-foot atomic-powered plankton, Sophia the Otter, and Catherine the Spellcaster. What does this have to do with Supernanny? You know what? I take it back. I take it all back. I thought the absurd amount of rules on this wiki would prevent anything fun or interesting to happen. How wrong I was. How did I miss this? How did I miss all of this? I had one of the most amazing times I've had online in years just going through this wiki, seeing what I will be sent to next. I did not do this wiki justice last time. I beg you, I implore you, go and seek this website out for yourself. There is so much on here I cannot show in one video. And I can only cover so much. I think even a 2-hour video wouldn't be enough for this. Somehow, a reality TV show about a nanny spawned pages and pages of lore about fictional events, games, and movies that don't exist and don't have anything to do with Supernanny. It really goes to show you what happens when you have way too much time on your hands. That's the power of autism, baby. And so, there you have it. Another set of wikis has been dug through, and hopefully has given you some more entertainment. I must also reiterate, there's nothing wrong with any of this, most of it. It's just probably some autistic teenagers having some fun, but then they make this available to the public, and just stumbling across it one day is a trip. And if you wish, by all means, go visit these and contribute. Don't vandalize them though, please, that kinda ruins the fun. If you have any other weird wikis that you think are interesting, by all means, tell me about them in the comments. I'm sure there's plenty more I missed, and much more things to see and do. God bless, like and subscribe, and good night. And to end things off, let us all give a moment of silence to the Neo-Scary Godmother Wiki, who is now no longer with us. You gave us many laughs and smiles, and now we'll all have to move on without you. You'll remain in our hearts and in our minds. Rest in peace, Jimmy Brando, who sniffs chairs. Wait a minute! I missed a wiki. What's this? The Magic Mush Wiki? Someone made a wiki based on me? Well, I've officially made it. Now, what does my own wiki say on me? That's a word salad. What about the info? Okay, it says I have a harem of girlfriends, I'm old, and I'm apparently dead. Yeah, I'd say this is all accurate. Wait, height 4 feet? Alright, I take it back. Fuck this wiki, I'm out. I'm not a melon, I'm not!
Security system takes control of Squidward's house and begins attacking the city, leaving the mayor to give Squidward community service for the damage he caused, even though SpongeBob and Patrick were in his house the whole fucking time and were responsible for everything. Ugh! Fuck this episode! This episode is when the Squidward torture porn started to become a regular staple in SpongeBob's episodes. And this one is just one of the meanest, cruelest, and just plain unfair of them all. All Squidward wanted to do was enjoy one day to himself, but that can never happen when he lives next door to SpongeBob and Patrick, can it?